You're listening to the KATcast, a weekly podcast from the staff you love to listen to each weekday on 94.3 Cat Country. Killian Hart and Jordan J. Now, here they are, talking about life, love, and everything mid-Missouri.
And we're back with another podcast this week, since it's kind of timely. We're talking everything 4th of July. So whether that's fireworks, whether that's just fun times, whether it's barbecues, whatever you like to do on 4th of July.
Fireworks, food, festivities.
Yes.
And this
All
is where I
the
say,
things.
What are you all going to be doing for the 4th of July?
Maybe heading downtown. My brother's band is playing in the beer garden here in Jefferson City around 5.
Shout out those guys.
That's right. Little shout out to those guys.
Clint and Harrison.
Yes. Well, I was going to say my brother.
Those guys.
And his buddy Harrison. That's kind of not like our big plans, but that's one of the things that we'll be doing. But got to fire up the grill, too.
Yes.
Got to.
You got to grill on 4th of July. That's like a staple. If you don't have like some sort of barbecue going, it's like, is it even 4th of July? You know,
pork steaks, baked beans, corn on the cob, all the good stuff.
Yum.
Yeah.
Yum.
What about you, Kevin?
Really not a single thing. Hanging out. We'll probably cook out, and that's about it.
You don't got no fireworks, nothing like that you're going to launch off?
We may. I mean, if we can find some local fireworks, but maybe it's 4 days off, so I'm almost guaranteed the grandkids are going to be over at some point.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So, yeah.
That has to be the case, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite firework? I was going to ask that too. Yes. Like so do I. Like, but I don't. You tell yours first.
Okay, artillery shells. I am ashamed to say I was well into my 30s before I discovered what artillery shells were. And if you're not familiar, sometimes they have single shots or double shots or triple shots, and it's like the big ones. You drop this giant ball into a tube, and it shoots up. And, sometimes they whistle. Usually they don't, but they explode into giant, glorious
it's like
color.
Civil War artillery, you know?
It really kind of is, you know? And you know that they're going to be the big ones when you hear them, like, launch out of that tube. When it goes, like, you're like, ooh, and it like goes way up in the sky. You're like, that's the big one.
Can you imagine if somebody was here from like 150 years ago and they're watching and go, my God, the citizens have weapons now.
Hands down, I mean, that's been my favorite because the colors are vibrant. They're large. Before that, I mean, as kids, we just had, bottle rockets.
Oh, bottle rockets.
Black cat firecrackers and, sparklers. I think what we consider big ones was like Roman candles.
Oh, yeah.
So here as an adult, when I actually had a little bit of disposable money to go and, blow stuff up, artillery shells. I was like, what are these?
Yeah.
Been a favorite ever since.
Erin knows all about fireworks because I'll tell you, I have been with her to fireworks places. And, like, she'll be the one walking out with like $200 worth of like bombs and stuff like that.
My favorite as a kid used to be those little jumping jacks. You know what I'm talking about? It's like the fuse on the thing was like half a second. You light it and it like immediately went off. But like it spun around and like shot up and like went all over the place.
Well, the important thing with fireworks is be careful with it because nobody wants to be known as Stumpy. Okay,
that's the last thing. You're holding on to it too long. Let it go.
So one of my best friends, her daughter, when she was little, she always loved the pooping puppy. That was not around when I was a kid. Nice. It was like this little cardboard dog.
Now you're talking my language.
And the dog, the back had like wheels, so it looked like the dog was
like walking. Yeah.
And then, of course,
and then all of a sudden,
ash would come out of its hiney. So it was the pooping puppy. And I mean, that was like her all-time
that's
favorite.
A firework. Let me tell you.
Like the snake, like the little snake. I kind of know what you're talking about.
So, her mom was like, oh my gosh, I can't find this thing, So I remember picking him up from, I think they had like dance class or something.
Yeah.
And, well, what are we going to do today? And I'm like, all right, your mom said that we could go find pooping puppies. And they're like, yay! In the back seat. And I think we went to like 4 or 5 different fireworks stands in town before we found them.
If you've got a fairly large party that wants to go see fireworks, I'll tell you the best thing in the world to own is a pickup truck because you don't have to worry about, okay, let's seat everybody here. It's like everybody just sit in the back of the truck. We
did that chiggers, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We did that a few years ago when actually, at the time, I only had the one grandson. He's 6 now, but he was like maybe 3. And he's sitting in the back of Grandpa's truck, and we're watching the fireworks. He just thought it was magical.
Oh, yeah.
I go, man, there you go.
I think my favorite, like, of the big fireworks are I like the artillery ones too, but I like the ones that, like, when they explode, they either they almost like flower out. You know what I'm talking about? They linger there for a minute, kind of like they almost like a raindrop kind of effect. You know, it's like cool looking.
And a place that can sync the music with the fireworks.
That's cool.
That's magical.
And those other ones that like twinkle, they look like stars like flashing, those ones too.
So,
like strobe light.
Music, being synced up, that's not like a have to for me. I can still enjoy a fireworks show if there's no music synced. I mean, that just kind of adds an extra element of fun, But there's just something about hanging out with your friends and your family and, thinking about the country you love and watching these amazing displays.
You'll still ooh and ah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's our soundtrack. Ooh.
It makes you think, too, like, especially when you're hearing all the fireworks go off around you and stuff, what it's actually, like, what it was like during the war, you know what I mean? Like, because you hear all that and how loud it was. Like, imagine real explosions and all this, and not being, like, joyous,
and
being, like,
you bring
terrifying.
up a good point, actually, Jordan, because, and this is our public service announcement part of this, okay? If you have dogs, dogs for the most part, there's some that don't mind it, that are maybe a little more used to it or whatever. They've been desensitized to it.
For whatever reason, mine are cool with it.
If you have dogs, please put them in a place where they can feel protected, whether it's a thunder jacket, whether it's in a room far away from where the noise is. It's very, very frightening to them. And I know people say, it's only once a year. We just ought to have fun. I know, I get it. And have fun. But know that it's terrifying. It can be terrifying to your dog.
Because they don't know what's going on, right? To them, it is bombs going off, right?
9 times out of 10, it's not just one night a year. It's the weeks leading
Memorial Day.
Then it's
I know.
A couple days afterwards where everybody's getting the really good deals on all the fireworks and like every night.
That's
I know that happens in our neighborhood. It'll be like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, you know what? How would you like it if I got up at 2:45 to go to work and I have a big old fireworks display first?
I know.
Well, you know what's funny?
You'd be ticked.
People buy their fireworks and they do get really like, I can't wait till July 4th. So it's like June 28th. It's like bang. It's like, dude, slow your roll. I know.
Well, I remember as kids, we would like beg Dad, please. And he's like, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You're not going to be able to see anything.
Exactly.
We don't care.
And we're like, oh, yes, we will. Come on. And he's just like, no, you won't.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's not fair.
Yeah.
There's not a package of black cats.
It's only dark. It's dark till you have to wait till 9 o'clock at night. That's not fair.
See, that's when it was like we'd get all the pretty nighttime fireworks, and then they're like, all right, here's all the loud fireworks. You can launch those off during the day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You had like the M80s. And another one that has a short fuse, right?
When you were real little, you were able to use those little corn cob things. You know what I'm talking about? The little sticks.
Yeah.
Where they just go, and you're like, woo!
So
what are those little sparklers?
Yeah. So in our family, I think Mom kind of appeased us kids by going, okay, it's time when you start seeing the fireflies. When you can see the fireflies,
you can see
them glow.
They're having their fireworks already.
Yeah, then you can see the fireworks. So I mean, I remember it'd be like, again, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Mom, I just saw one. It was just right over there. And she's like, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
Not it. You're lying, Aaron. You're lying.
And then it's always the worst being a kid, too, when you're like, I want fireworks. You're like, all right, when it gets dark. It doesn't get dark till like 10 p.m.
Yeah,
you're like, it's late enough.
Come on.
Exactly.
I'm going to be going to bed soon.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what is your barbecue staple, your 4th of July must-have?
Ooh, we talking dessert? We talking mains?
I'm talking mains.
Pork steak. Gotta have pork steak.
Gotta have pork steak?
Yes.
Grilled corn on the cob.
Ooh, see, that was going to be corn on the cob for me. It's just, because like summertime, man, the corn's like great. That, and then like as a side too for me, like I love potato salad. I'm a huge potato salad fan, but also watermelon season.
Yes.
Oh,
good. Beautiful ruby red watermelon.
And, I know some people don't like the whole like taking the big wedge of
and just destroying it. Oh, I love doing that.
And that's okay like that. But I'll tell you, my wife, and part of it is a neatness thing for the kids. she will chop it up into
little cubes.
Cubes.
Like cubes.
And that's a good way to eat it because you can just sit there then and like just reach into the bag and eat it like that.
I can't tell you how many we get like the humongous like Tupperware container.
Yeah.
Full of
That's
watermelon.
the way to do it.
We get like 2 watermelon we cut up in there. Mm-hmm. It lasts maybe 2 days around the house. Everyone destroys it. Like watermelon's just like, it's so good, right?
Okay, so next big question then. Salt or no salt on your watermelon?
See, my dad salts his watermelon.
Your dad and I are probably about the same age.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Yes.
My dad salts his watermelon. He puts salt on his cucumbers. He puts salt on his tomatoes.
See,
he loves it.
I don't get that. And I will tell you, anybody that knows me, you guys have never seen me actually salt something. Like
I haven't. I don't think I have.
I don't do it. It's like...
That's because your body has so much salt in it from the processed food.
Exactly.
it salts it while it's in your belly.
Exactly.
It's like, we'll already salt this up for you.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll eat watermelon without salt, but I love it with salt.
I see that. It's got like a sweet, savory thing.
It's like it kind of enhances the flavor.
Does it a little bit?
I've never heard of that in my life. Isn't that weird? Man.
Must be.
I just love how juicy and delicious watermelon is probably one of my favorite fruits. Like watermelon, pineapple, apples are like the best.
Okay, so I mean, we were kind of talking about this.
No.
Okay.
As far as like desserts for 4th of July, yes, it's got to be watermelon. We always did that as kids and stuff, and I still do it now as an adult. But grilling peaches, fresh peaches, and then grilling fresh rings of pineapple. And then, you sprinkle a little brown sugar on there and it caramelizes on the grill. And then like a scoop of ice cream on that. Ooh.
Well, we're now into the season where the peaches are good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times you got to wait till you get California peaches or Florida or whatever, But I think we're now into the season where we're starting to get the really good sweet stuff like Georgia or whatever.
Yeah. Those Georgia peaches.
Oh.
Yeah. Next level.
That's great stuff, man. And you know what's interesting? If you have, generally speaking, fruit, the larger it is, there are exceptions, but the larger it is, the less sweet it is.
I've heard that.
You know what I mean?
I've experienced that, actually. Yeah, for sure.
Because you might think, this is really big and sweet, and not necessarily.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I've been disappointed by large and disappointed by small. Just sometimes you never know,
Mm-hmm. You're like, grapefruit, that's good too, by the way. I'm just getting hungry now. We're just talking about fruits. Nom.
What, you're 65 years old? Is it breakfast time all of a sudden? We changed topics?
We changed topics.
Somebody bring a grapefruit into Jordan, will you?
You want oatmeal and an English muffin on the side?
Yeah. Grapefruit, over here.
Grapefruit, please.
No, I do like grapefruit.
But it's just that time. I'm thinking of I've already had some watermelon a couple times already, so...
Tis the season.
Tis the season for that, for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I think for at least for the 4th, we kind of celebrated a little earlier last week, but we're thinking about taking the kids to the zoo, actually.
Yeah, that's what you were saying.
Which, surprisingly, they're open. Like the zoo, both, I think, St. Louis and Kansas City are open.
Do you want to know a fun little fact about July 4th, 1776? You know that picture we've seen of all the delegates gathered in Independence Hall in Philadelphia?
Did it not happen?
That is a complete lie. They did not all gather together there like that. What happened was, yes, July 4th, 1776.
Okay.
It was like, that's the date of the document. Mm-hmm. But they had to travel. Mm-hmm. And you got to remember, this is the late 18th century. They had to travel from all the other colonies. So they weren't all there at the same time. They would arrive at a certain time and then sign it, and et cetera, et cetera.
That makes sense.
And one more thing. John Hancock obviously had the largest signature. Do you know why he had the largest signature?
How come?
Because he says he wanted King George to definitely see his on there.
Wow.
I remember that.
We're breaking away, suckers.
Yeah. It's like, we got our own country now, baby.
So what you're saying is like if Benjamin Franklin or somebody else would have signed it larger, we want to be calling it Sign Your Ben Franklin instead of your John Hancock.
Right, yeah. Give me your Ben Franklin,
John Hancock says the smallest signature in a different universe.
You know what's funny? I have a number of friends in England and Ireland, but like in England, and they'll say to me, come this time of year, hey, by the way, happy 4th of July. And I'm like, that's like an awkward, wish because, we rebelled against
you.
We
defected from your country.
But I get it. It's been long enough now. I think we're okay.
Listen.
And you're a staunch ally of ours. It's okay. We love you.
The United States and Britain, we love each other.
We do, man.
It's all part of history.
It's all swept under the rug.
We're like brothers who beat each other up when we were kids, and now when we're older, it's like, okay, we get it.
Be like, but I loved you the entire time.
Right. Right, exactly. So, well, as you celebrate 4th of July, share your traditions with us. What do you like to eat? What do you do? Share with us. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know. You can send us an email, catcountry@mailzimmer.com, or you can always message us on Facebook, Instagram, all the things.
Exactly.
Everything. Anywhere that we're at.
And whether you're watching this or viewing this, or whether you're watching this or hearing this, be sure to subscribe. Click the subscribe button if you see it. Subscribe button's got to be up here or down here somewhere.
Especially if you're on the YouTube.
We
could use another subscriber.
We really need YouTube subscribers. It's pretty pathetic. It's really sad,
There's
man.
the shameless plug.
However, we love all 54 of you, so thank you for subscribing.
Hey, maybe by the time this hits, it'll be 55. You never know.
Dreaming big!
Thank you for catching this edition of the Cat Country KATcast.
You've been listening to the KATcast, your weekly dose of fun from the staff you know and love on 94.3 Cat Country. Click subscribe and never miss an episode. Share it on social media and tell your friends with 94.3 Cat Country.